It's time for our main event with a well-chilled serving of Hawaiian Punch. Honolulu's Brian Viloria is back with promotional issues straightened out. A 7-month layoff is coming to an end. Now the power-packed former U.S. Olympian is ready to impress while pressing forward. It was August of 2002 when Brian met up with Javier Lagos. With Viloria's heavy-handed reputation preceding him, Lagos fought cautiously. The 12-round unanimous decision earned Viloria the NABF Flyweight belt. But the trend of reticent opponents was just beginning. 2 more lackluster 12-rounders had critics chirping. That was until last July on Pismo Beach. He was crashing down a wave of reality on former world title challenger Luis Doria. From the first punch through the finishing flurry, Viloria never gave Doria a chance. The first-round knockout was exactly what Brian needed.
I learned that I have to go in there and not just beat guys, but really show great fight and just to knock these guys out. And this is what people wants to see, and I have to deliver it. That's what I'm going to do again tonight. I'm just going to go in there and just roll over these guys. And, you know, I just have this fire within me right now. I'm just really excited to go back in the ring and show people, you know, seeing Brian Viloria again.
Now he wants to upgrade belts. He looks to start his 2004 with a bang and overtake this group of little big men atop the flyweight division. To do so, he must first get by Juan Baby 4 Keb Baas. The 4th son of 5 fighting brothers has been working hard in Southern California, hopeful to earn another world title shot. Juan bounced back after a title bout loss last April. 21-1 Jair Jimenez was a very tough test, but Keb Baas was able to pass it. Now he has to stop an unbeaten, determined warrior. Brian Viloria is full of talent and energy.
The only thing I know about him is really fast, and he's going to explode that weapon probably against me. But it's not a big concern. I'm not expecting anything extraordinary. I have a lot of experience, and I believe I've seen a lot of things in boxing already, so I know it's going to be hard, but I know how to handle it.
He's a step up in caliber fights that I've been faced with, so tonight is just going to be a test for me, and I know I can ace this test, but I'm just going to go in there and see if he can withstand my power and my speed, and I think I have both the edge over him, and if I just utilize that tonight, I'll be victorious.
Here is 33-year-old Juan Keb Baas. He fought most of his career at 108. He says at 112 pounds, he feels stronger and more prepared for action. Keb Baas has 30 wins, 9 losses, 2 draws, 20 knockouts. His last 5 notes the fact that he shed 8 pounds to fight for the WBC strawweight title against Jose Aguirre. He has lost 3 of his last 5. And here's Teddy Atlas on what to expect from Juan Keb Baas.
Well, number one, undercover work or work when he covers. There are moments when Viloria will go into a shell and just cover up. You should take advantage by working at these moments. And number 2, counters when he comes in. Viloria likes to go in and out. See if you can time him as he's coming in. And number 3, a little leg work to your left side, particularly. A bit of movement towards the left will keep Viloria off balance and keep you away from his best punch, that left hook.
And here is the former Hawaiian high school tennis star. Of course, Brian Viloria, better known for his vicious body attack rather than his baseline attack, earned him a place on the U.S. Olympic boxing team. He's a perfect 13-0, 8 knockouts as a pro. His last 5, it includes the 12-round wins that were a little lackluster and the jaw-dropping destruction of Luis Doria. Since then, no fights as he split with his former promoter. Teddy, what should we be looking for from the Hawaiian Punch?
Well, for Viloria to move to 14-0, speed kills. Use your speed, hand speed that is. You are quicker than him, so show it with quick combos. And number 2, in and out. Keb Baas is a bit one-dimensional, standing in front. Keep him off balance by moving in and out on him. And number 3, spring the trap or spring the hook trap. You like to step back and lure your opponents in so you can unleash your left hook. Well, use your jab, then step back and try it.
All right, let's look at the ring experience between Keb Baas and Brian Viloria. Of course, Keb Baas, the veteran Mexican, 41 fights to Viloria's 14. 259 rounds in his bag to Viloria's 74. And of course, those 7 championship rounds, that was against Aguirre. And there is the Hawaiian Punch, Brian Viloria. He was the NABF's 2002 Fighter of the Year. He's their flyweight champion. And the alphabet soup is starting to take notice. The WBC has him number 4, the BA number 7, the IBF number 15, for whatever you make of that. Of course, a former world amateur champion and a U.S. national
Brian,
champion.
you received your instructions in the dressing room. I want you to protect yourself at all times. Above all, obey my commands at all times. First command right now, I want you to touch gloves. When the bell rings, come out fighting. Good luck to the both of you gentlemen.
Johnny Callis, the third man inside, NABF belt on the line, so it's a scheduled 12-rounder. 112 pounds, Teddy, not a division that attracts a lot of American eyeballs or American TV money. However, with his power, his marketability, Brian Viloria has the potential to break that mold, fighting tonight with a new promotional contract in place based on how good he looks against Keb Baas. So a little extra pressure there.
He may have the right guy in front of him to look good. And 33-year-old veteran who probably is best off if he tries to box, but I don't know if he has the legs at this point in his career to keep that up and stay away from that left hook, especially that left hook to the body. And nothing can take the wheels away if Keb Baas is looking to move as he is, trying to keep Viloria off balance, which I think is the right strategy. Nothing can take the air out of those tires better than the best punch Viloria possesses, the left hook to the body. Keb Baas has lost 3 of his last 4 with 1 draw. 2 of his losses by KO.
Right uppercut comes in from Brian Viloria.
Viloria, of course, is dealing with his longest bit of inactivity in the time between fights since turning pro. He's been off for 7 months since his last fight.
Only 3 first-round knockouts combined in 55 fights among these two. Of course, Viloria coming off one of those. Would love to repeat that performance, showing some power here early on.
Keb Baas will try to move. You could see that was his fight plan early on. Viloria strong for this weight, big punch, a little over anxious right there. A little strong for his weight, big banger, but needs to be set. You could look at his feet of Viloria. Needs to be set, needs to be really sturdy, needs you to be in front of him to do his best work to get those punches off. Has trouble with movement. Keb Baas understands that from his experience, and he's trying to move early, but can't keep it up. And this is where he doesn't want to be, trapped on the ropes.
Viloria sending in a few right hands against Juan Keb Baas.
It may be the wrong punch, the right hand, because Keb Baas' experience, when he hits those ropes, he knows something's coming at it. He's going to slip, he's going to dip, he's going to slide, he's going to move that head. He's even doing it there a little bit, getting ready. Viloria probably should throw that left hook, his best punch to the body when he gets close. See those head punches? They all missed. The left hook to the body probably would make the most sense for Viloria when Keb Baas, the experienced guy, hits those ropes and starts slipping and sliding. The body doesn't move. That is set up the punches later on to the head.
There's a right hand that comes in straight. Very tempting for him to fire off those right hands, Teddy, with the 7-month layoff and being very anxious to get back on national TV and show himself well.
You're right, he wants to. He's been out of that ring for 7 months. He wants to connect
the
big.
head hunting is tasty.
Yeah, it's very appealing. Again, we're talking about the body work needed for Viloria to take the air out of the tires of Keb Baas. That jab is very important to stabilize him.
Degree kicks in the clutch.
Of all the bags in all the world, this one's the best. Save 20% on whatever fits in it. The Ace Hardware Bag Sale this Saturday only.
Hey, Bob. Hey. You get a new haircut?
No.
Hey, Bob.
Hey.
Did you lose weight?
Huh? You jacked
pocketbook?
Nope. What's different? He finally asked his doctor about Viagra. Ready to ask your doctor about Viagra for the first time? Find out if a free sample is right for you. To learn more, visit Viagra.com.
Call the sitter and walk the dog. And I saw the doctor.
Ask your doctor and see the difference.
Sliding in the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to see some action from the last round against the ropes. Viloria gets Keb Baas where he wants him, but throws the punches where he doesn't want to the head. Look this round for his terrific trainer, Freddie Roach, the former fighter who's been in and worked with many world champions. Look for Freddie Roach, I'm sure, to get that across to Viloria during that minute he just had in the corner.
Some body work early on in the second round now from Juan Keb Baas. Left hand goes upstairs from Brian Viloria. There's a push there. Johnny Callis on top of it.
See, Keb Baas with his experience has the right idea. A little movement. Viloria doesn't like that. Keep Viloria off balance. Don't let him set. He's the stronger guy, the bigger guy, the younger guy, the more explosive guy. Problem is Keb Baas can't keep it up. Can only do it in spots. The other spots he covers up, stands in front, and that's where I think it's going to be probably his undoing as the fight goes on. We'll see, because sooner or later Viloria will target that liver with the left hook. Still a little over anxious, Viloria, as we said, coming off his longest layoff since he turned pro, 7 months.
Juan Keb Baas was actually close to becoming the WBC strawweight champ last year. He dropped Jose Aguirre, the champ, in the 4th round. A little bit of a controversial long count, and Aguirre steadied himself and came back. And Keb Baas finds himself in a defensive position here, trying to dodge and duck the flurries from Brian Viloria.
But just look again being interrupted here for a second, but just look again as Viloria lands something. Keb Baas goes against the ropes a moment ago. And what did Keb Baas do? He uses that experience. He starts dipping, sliding, moving his head. He survived. He's behind in the round, but he survived the big punches. Once again, he can survive those big punches. He's got the radar to see them going. Viloria needs to use that jab to close the gap, to stabilize Keb Baas a little bit, and then zero in on a body that's not moving, to slow the head movement down, and then he'll be able to land the shots, the paralyzing shots that you could see from the beginning. Viloria has his mindset on.
Both men firing, but it was the left hand from Brian Viloria that came in strong.
Again, if there was 10 punches thrown there, good work by Viloria, putting them together, trying to keep them short. But if there was 10 punches, probably only about 3 landed. If he goes to the body, his punch connect rate is going to improve tremendously, and it's going to be hard for the 33-year-old Keb Baas to stay rounds.
Well, pretty good action fight in front of us developing here between Viloria and Keb Baas in Connecticut. It was a few weeks ago. We were back in Connecticut for what may be the fight of the year. Take a look back at January 23rd. Scotty Pemberton, Omar Shika in the rematch. It was anticipated to be a classic. It exceeded all expectations. Shika, just as he did in the first fight, puts Pemberton down. But by the time the 10th round came around, it was all Scotty Pemberton. Non-stop action, and finally, a very courageous Omar Shika knocked out as the Sandman, Scotty Pemberton, comes up with a career-defining win. Scott Pemberton, always glad to be with you.
Always a pleasure.
Looking back now, your thoughts?
All I can say is I trained really long and hard for that fight, and I don't know. I just I think I got to
Omar type fight.
Yeah, maybe.
It wasn't without controversy, though, Scott. Let's take a look at what happened in the middle rounds here, specifically when Omar Shika was on the attack, because Omar Shika's people have filed a protest over this cold, technical knockdown, Teddy.
Yes, well, the call here and the controversy is right there. The rope held up. There's not a standing 8 count in the state of Connecticut. That's right. And, of course, Shika's people are completely right. But it's the discretion of the referee to say whether or not, if those ropes weren't there, if Pemberton would have went down. And he's saying, probably rightfully so, that if the ropes weren't there, that he would have went down. Therefore, it constitutes a knockdown. And that's why he stepped in and scored as such.
Scotty Pemberton joining us here. Round number 3 between Juan Keb Baas and Brian Viloria. Scotty, we'll give you your chance to respond to the protest by Omar Sheik over there.
Okay. I mean, it's the referee's judgment call on whether I would have went down when I bounced off ropes like that. So, I mean, what's there to protest? I think the bottom line is I knocked him out, and he didn't knock me out. I bounced off the ropes. The referee gave me an 8 count because he called it a knockdown. So if he would have won that round would have been scored 10-8. So I don't even know what he's complaining about. He should have did what he had to do to get me out of there or win the fight, but he couldn't.
Well, in all fairness, both of you are warriors, and you should both be applauded, and that's the fight of the year. But in all fairness, what Sheik's people are saying, of course, their contention is if it wasn't scored a knockdown, if you didn't get that 8 seconds to recover, that he could have kept the momentum going, you wouldn't have recovered, and he had you in trouble, and then maybe it would have been a different outcome. That is their contention.
Teddy, he didn't have me in that much trouble. But, you know.
Hey, you're an honest fighter.
I'm not going to doubt you, Scotty.
Let me ask you a direct question right here. And we'll get right past the controversy. Would you have went down if the rope wasn't there?
I really can't say. Maybe I can't. I don't really remember at that moment if I would have went down or not. When I bounced off the rope, like my chest hit the rope. I mean, I don't know.
Scotty, let's talk about the future for you as we take a look here at the final minute of round number 3 between Viloria and Keb Baas. That was a tremendous exciting fight that everybody got their money's worth and could have been shown in any level of this sport on any network. But the money, obviously, you talked about the fact, hasn't been there in your career. What's next? Are you going to be cashing in because of this?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's nobody out there I won't fight. I'll fight anybody. Sven Arky, Charles Brewer if he wants to do it again. And that guy Anthony Mundine that was saying that you know, he was happy that the U.S. got bombed with the 9/11 and stuff. I'll throw some bombs on him for that rude remark that he made.
Scotty Pemberton, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck in the future.
Thank you,
It's
guys.
a pleasure to call
Anytime.
your fight of the year.
Thank you.
Good luck, Scott.
Thank you.
If you're unaware of your credit history, you could be denied the house of your dreams. You could even live the nightmare of identity theft. See for yourself if your credit history is accurate at TrueCredit.com. Log on and find out which credit product is right for you. Order our special TV offer online and get your credit score, weekly fraud alert emails for a year, and this guide to managing your credit free. Life's full of obstacles. You just gotta know where they are. TrueCredit.com. Manage your credit, manage your life.
Introducing the Bowflex Ultimate. Quite possibly the best home fitness machine ever made. Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. Own the new Bowflex Ultimate with no money down and monthly payments lower than many health club dues. Call and ask for a free video or DVD, or visit us on the web today. The new Bowflex for ultimate results.
Friday night fights from Uncasville, Connecticut at the wonderful Mohegan Sun Casino Resort. Their beautiful arena here. Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas. Good main event. Juan Keb Baas against the undefeated U.S. Olympian Brian Viloria. The punches through round 3. A 57-17 edge for the young unbeaten prospect.
To the credit of Keb Baas, the 33-year-old, who's lost 3 of his last 4 with 1 draw, 2 losses by knockout. He's behind, I believe, losing every round so far, but doing what he has to do with the younger, more explosive prospect in front of him. The former bronze medalist from the 2000 games. He's mixing it up. He doesn't have the legs to move all night. He knows that. He'd like to, but he doesn't. So he's trying to mix it up. A little bit in front, get out before he stays there too long. When he does get stuck on those ropes, he moves that head right away. So if there's a volley of punches coming at him, they don't all land. But being helped a little bit by Viloria, not concentrating on the body, and sometimes not using the jab enough. But Viloria concentrates on that jab, which he seems to be doing this round a little bit more. and sets up the body, and that's a good body shot by Keb Baas. If Viloria sets up the body with that jab, he'll slow down, as I said, take the air out of the 33-year-old. You know, Viloria puts those earmuffs on every once in a while and covers up, as we talked about in the tips. And when he does that, he gives you an opportunity to come in and do some offense. And Keb Baas took advantage of that a moment ago with the left hook to the body. Keb Baas should use that jab or feint a little bit. Watch when he does jab, when Keb Baas jabs or feints a little bit. See, when he feints and he makes it look like he's going to throw, automatically Viloria goes into that defensive mode. Gives Keb Baas a chance to do some scoring, get some punches off.
So the fluidity between offense and defense isn't as polished as you would like it to be for Brian Viloria so far in his career.
I'm sure his tremendous trainer, Freddie Roach, is going to work on that, but yes, is the answer to that question. Viloria sometimes disconnects. He's either on offense or he's on defense. He has to learn to be able to let each share each other's world. Let his defense mix in with his offense. Let his defense create offense. Move your head, create some offense. Take care of defense, fire back. Right now, defense and offense for Viloria are living in two separate worlds. He needs to let them mesh a little bit. Right now, you can see Viloria going defensive. He allows his opponent to get off. He goes defensive again when he's finished, covers up. If he just moved, he could keep his offense going and take care of his defense.
Let's check in with Brian Kenny. Brian?
All right, what do you think, Antonio? I mean, you asked at the beginning, is it going to be an amateur fighter, a professional fighter? He's sitting down on his punches nicely there, isn't he?
Yes, but a lot of times I think that he's pulling with his jab. He's not shooting that jab with deadly intentions. He needs to stick in there, sit down, pump that jab, and bring his right hand.
What do you think about what Teddy was saying there? Sometimes he's thinking defense, other times he's thinking offense. How do you make both work at the same time?
I just think he's thinking too much. I mean, in a boxing match, you have to let your natural instincts take over. If you think too much, then you're a step behind. I think he just needs to go in there and just react and let his hands go.
Good advice. Nice with his hands, though. Nice combinations Viloria throwing out there as well, isn't it?
Definitely good combinations.
Next week here on Friday Night Fights, Tacumbo Olajide taking on Larry Marks. Again, here in the studio with us, our guest analyst will be the middleweight champion of the world, Bernard Hopkins. Let's go back ringside to Joe and Teddy. Guys?
Thanks, Brian.
Here comes the replay right here. You can see Viloria puts those earmuffs on, separates, disconnects a little bit, goes completely defensive, and in that spot, Keb Baas took advantage, used the jab to get him in that spot, and then landed the left hook to the body.
Antonio Tarver bringing up the point of the jab by Brian Viloria, says he was pawing it a bit. To endorse that point, he's thrown 93, but he's only landed 14. Coming in with the right hand.
The younger fighter, also, as you would probably expect, the busier fighter, Viloria.
See the punches in round number 4, a 22-9 edge.
See, what I was talking about, combining defense and offense. Viloria, nice offensive fighter, puts his punches together, they're nice and short. He puts combos together, I like that. And he thinks he'll mix it up every once in a while and change the array of punches. But sometimes when he's finished, he'll just cover up and wait for the other guy to work, wait to block the punch. If he would just bend, he's an aggressive fighter. He likes to be in close. If he would just bend, weave, and move after his last punch, he would take care of defense. And then if the opponent was striking back, he would automatically create another offensive opening for himself. His defense would complement his offense. Right now, as I said, they're both working separately. Viloria still controlling this fight. He still is in a position to be the first of the 2000 Olympic team from the U.S. to win a world title, because at his size, there's not a lot of fights there. You move quickly. You have to move quickly. With his amateur experience, you can move quickly. Therefore, you can get into a spot to fight for a title a lot faster than a lot of his teammates at a heavier weight class. Again, I think Viloria might still wind up hurting Keb Baas. I'm not going to say that's not going to happen, but concentrating a little too much on the head. You have an experienced fighter. When you get close and you start to close that gap, he knows you're throwing to the head. He's going to move. You need to, as the old timers would say, kill that body. The head will follow.
Teddy, we still haven't seen that well-placed left hook down low.
And you know what you just saw there? Again, disconnecting, as I was talking about before. It's right in front of you. Viloria just covered up, disconnected a little bit when he wasn't on offense, and he covered up. Keb Baas was able to get some shots off. Viloria still carrying the round because his amount of punches is so much greater.
Now, Brian Viloria made the comment to us yesterday that he wants to show his power and speed and see if Keb Baas can withstand it. Not sure he showed enough of it here in round number 5.
Gutsy guy, this Keb Baas.
Thanks. Cheers. Some like beers don't taste like anything. Next time, try a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Good call.
You know the feeling. Every guy's had it. You're unbeatable, unstoppable. You got that walking on water feeling. You look, they smile. You win, they go home. It's the feeling you get every day with the world's best shave, Mach 3 Turbo. It's like having an angel by your side. Every move is smooth. Every word is cool. I never want to lose that feeling.
The Hawaiian Punch, Brian Viloria. Round number 6 against the Mexican veteran, former world title challenger, Juan Keb Baas. The punches in round 5, an 18-12 edge for Viloria. But the high total thus far in this fight for Keb Baas, the 12 punches landed. Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas, joined by the 2003 Trainer of the Year, Freddie Roach, back at home in southern New England. Freddie, what do you see so far with your young charge?
Brian's doing okay out there. I want to see him pick it up a little bit and sit down his power shots and get this guy out of there, because he's hurt him a few times, but he hasn't followed up on his combinations.
Freddie, Teddy here. I'm sure that there's one place that you'd like to see Viloria. He's winning every round on our scorecard. One place I'm sure you'd like to see him go more to, the body of the experienced Keb Baas.
Yeah, because Keb Baas, he's shown that he has a pretty good chin, and I want him to dig his body and, you know, take his legs away from him and break him down and get him out a little bit later, you know, but he's got to invest in some body shots for sure.
Freddie, Brian Viloria has said that what an experience it's been at the Wild Card Gym, getting sparring in the course of the past year against Manny Pacquiao and Rosendo Alvarez. Do you see that paying off with him after the layoff?
Definitely. You know, he's in there with experienced guys, world champions, and he does very well with them, and it's good for his confidence. But again, I'd like to see him be a little more confident here tonight and pick it up a little bit.
You want to see that sensational win. You want to see people talking about him, don't you?
Definitely. It's not just enough to win anymore. You know, you're on TV, you've got to be impressive and look good, and people want to see knockouts.
Well, that's why you're a top trainer. You're honest.
Thank you.
Freddie, just before we say goodbye to you, a quick update as to your ring-rated heavyweight, James Toney. How's he doing with the injury?
I talked to him. He's a little bit depressed still, but the injury's coming along. They say he's going to be in a hard cast for a month and then a soft cast, and then he's going to start rehab. They say about four to 5 months, so he should be ready to go again.
Well, tell him we asked for him.
Yeah, I will.
2003 Trainer of the Year, Freddie Roach. In the corner for Brian Viloria.
And again, Viloria fighting with the veteran Keb Baas, who's fought for a WBC world title already. Plenty of experience. And one thing that you have to do when you're in there with an experienced guy and you start to close the door a little bit, you have to go to that body. He's got a good chin. He's a gutsy guy, and he moves that head well when he has to. Viloria, if he wants to get that sensational win that his trainer is talking about, I believe, at least in my humble belief, he's got to start going downstairs. And again, the jab, very important. And again, every once in a while, Viloria throws 2 types of jab. He can throw that snappy jab, but sometimes he paused with it. Needs to snap it out, needs to set up that body.
Halfway through a scheduled 12-rounder here.
Only one of these 12 fans will win their dream job.
First quarter action.
Locked up in a tight one.
16 points in the first half.
As the next SportsCenter anchor, ESPN's Dream Job. Series premiere Sunday, February 22nd, 10 p.m. on ESPN. Sponsored by Mazda 3.
Impeccable road manners. Well-dressed interior. Looks best in red. The Mazda 6. Lease a Mazda 6S for $249 a month for 48 months with $25.49 due at lease signing.
We tried a lot of different bar games. But nothing tops the Bud Light ESPN Quarter Bouncers Tournament. Compete locally and you could go to Vegas for the championship. And watch some other can't-miss games on ESPN's Big Monday.
Again, sliding in the bottom right home corner, you're going to see some action from the last round. What I was talking about with Viloria disconnecting. There's his offense, but when he's finished, covers up, doesn't move his head, doesn't use defense to create more offense, allows a little bit of a target for Keb Baas to answer back. I'm sure that's going to be blackboard material with Freddie Roach and Viloria after this fight.
Strong start to round number 7 by Brian Viloria. Let's take a look at CompuBox's punches landed per round. 120 to 47 total edge for Viloria. You see the output as the rounds go on. As for Teddy Atlas's scorecard, so far a shutout, 60 to 54.
Two things that I think are important here in this fight for Viloria.
Step back,
As far as getting what everybody on his team seems to want, a sensational win or a knockout win. Use the jab, go to the body. And when you say use the jab, maybe not enough just to say use the jab, not the pawing jab. Every once in a while, Viloria will paw with that jab, use it as a range finder. What happens then is he can leave himself open to right hands coming over quickly over the top. What he needs to do is snap that jab, get the respect of Keb Baas, make him defensive, close the gap off that jab, and then set up shop downstairs in the basement. And you watch Viloria, he throws two types of jabs, and there again, he goes defensive, covers up, puts the earmuffs on, allows Keb Baas to have a moment. We talked about in the tips, Joe, that's where Keb Baas is going to get his best moments to score, when he can get Viloria just to cover up. And again, as I was saying about the jab, Viloria possesses two. One is the snappy one is that one. But he paws, and when he paws from a little too far away. And what he can do is he can allow the opponent to really find him, to zero in on where he is. And of course, he can leave himself vulnerable to right hands.
Right. Step back. No punch. Good.
So Viloria covers up well. Fundamentally, good job. Keeps those hands up close, protects that jaw. Needs to move his head a little bit more. Because when he covers up, he allows opponents to put punches together, knowing nothing's going to come back right away. If he would cover up and move his head, as we said before, he would not only be better defensively, his defense would then be working to help him on the offensive side. He would create holes, create openings. Matter of fact, he would slip a jab and be in great position to throw that left hook to the body, which I think could be a big punch for him. It should be a big punch for him. Again, Viloria carrying around, just being more active, being quicker, being younger, busier.
Coming in and out with the right hand.
Keep him up, baby.
Mr. Shatner, please have a seat. We have to let you go.
But I'm the voice of Priceline.
But now it's the new Priceline.
What's new about it?
You can actually choose your flights, times, even airlines from a selection of very low fares.
Or you can still name your own price and save even more.
But who could possibly replace me?
Hi, guys. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Leonard. The new Priceline. Now there's a choice.
Thanks. Cheers.
Some like beers don't taste like anything. Next time, try a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Good call.
Sliding in the bottom right-hand corner. If you're a fan of Brian Viloria and you want a knockout, you want to see more of this. The jab setting up Keb Baas, getting him defensive, and then some body work.
Don't punch, break. Come on, don't make me have to break.
Friday night fights from Mohegan Sun Arena. Juan Keb Baas and Brian Viloria for the NABF Flyweight Championship. Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas with you. Round number 8, scheduled for 12. In the break between the 7th and 8th round, Freddie Roach was asking Viloria to really step it up and finish strong. That's something that he's looking to do. He went through a period of some lackluster 12-rounders. Other times in his career, he has shown the speed and the devastating power. They want a sensational win tonight. We'll see if he can get it.
Right now, what might be hurting Viloria, besides having an experienced opponent in front of him that knows how to move his head when he has to, Viloria might be too anxious to land, just as you saw with that right hand, might be too anxious to land that go-home punch instead of using the jab and concentrating right there, downstairs more. And if, again, Viloria, not a guy defensively, which is a big part of boxing. There's probably 3 lines of defense. 1 is to block, 2 is to move your head, 3rd is to use your legs to get out of range. Viloria likes to use the first one I spoke of. He likes to cover up and block. And again, when he does that, sometimes he allows his opponent to have moments to score, to get off, gain a little confidence, get a little rhythm going. Now Viloria
comes in.
Well, what he's doing is trying to time.
Oh,
and
there's the left hand. Big left hand from Viloria.
What he did was he saw Keb Baas throwing at him, and Viloria did a good job there. It wasn't an accident he landed to the head. He waited for the right time. He used a little patience, believe it or not, and he timed Keb Baas, starting with the right hand, and then when he got him on the ropes, he put punches together, and he finished with the left hook. Now should be a good time, I think, for Viloria to do 2 things. Go to the body and not smother himself. Keep just the right distance where he doesn't get too close. Therefore, he'll get tied up. See, he got too close. What do you expect Keb Baas to do? He's going to tie up. He's going to try to buy some time, kill a little time. It's important now for Viloria not to get too close, and I think not to go where he's going, not to the head. Even if he lands, I don't care. He should be going to the body and then upstairs.
Straight jab straightens out Keb Baas, and here goes Viloria. Back to it. 2nd knockdown of this 8th round.
4, 5,
and the 33-year-old gallant Keb Baas
8.
is going to try to make it to the bell here. He's got about 8 seconds, or less.
He survives, but finally, the offensive explosion by the Hawaiian punch.
Now, Viloria finally did get that knockdown. In all fairness, I've been calling him to go to the body. He got it by going to the head, but I think it would have came sooner and even more effectively if he went to the body a little. Let's take a look at the action now. Here comes the first knockdown. Again, Viloria zero in, throwing at the right time, goes with Keb Baas as he goes backwards, and comes back with that, his forte.
Left hand, Teddy.
His signature punch, the left hook. And let's take another look at it. The jab drives Keb Baas back into the ropes. Viloria puts punches together. This will be the 2nd knockdown. And once again, at the last knockdown, Viloria taking a little step to the side a little bit after landing that left hook. Keb Baas knew he couldn't take no more, went down, and probably allowed him to stay in the fight. We're going to see now the doctor's looking at Keb Baas in the corner, checking his pupils, seeing if he's reacting and following his fingers, seeing if his pupils are dilating properly, talking to him a little bit, making a decision whether or not Keb Baas is going to come out. I guess the doctors, we're going to find out right now.
Well, Dr. Tony Alesi, who was in the corner there, an outstanding ringside physician, they're going to let this go. Round number 9, the Hawaiian punch. Coming off a 7-month layoff. He is anxious and hungry to restart his career in the right direction. He wanted to be more active in 2003. He's looking to have a tremendous 2004 and get it off to a very good start here against the veteran Mexican Juan Keb Baas.
Now, Joe, I have no doubt that Viloria is going to probably get the knockout here. He's younger, he's stronger, he's got fast hands, he puts punches together. And he's going to the head. He'll probably get it anyway. But I'm just saying that he would have gotten it quicker, and he would have gotten it more definitive and more sensational if he would mix his offense up with some downstairs work. Freeze the body a little bit. Matter of fact, if he had been doing that from the outset, I'd dare to say that he would have already gotten that knockout that obviously he wants so bad. I think the only reason we're in the 9th round is because Keb Baas is experienced, he's gutsy, and Viloria's not going to the body.
Such is the story, Teddy, of a very talented power-punching prospect in his 14th pro fight. He's talented, he needs to become scholarly, and that left hand, I'm sure, will develop to the body as his career goes on.
And give Keb Baas credit here. He's going to lose the fight probably, but give him credit. He's hanging in there, and he's still trying to score. Just a moment ago, he landed a good right hand. Viloria was throwing all head shots. One of them, the left hook, was a little wide, and while Keb Baas was surviving and was slipping inside and outside of the punches, he got off a nice straight arrow to the chin. He punched in between those shots, and that's what experienced fighters do.
Loading up on the right hand, back to the left as Keb Baas returns fire.
Now, the hand speed is a big factor here for Viloria. He can put more punches together than Keb Baas can because he's quicker. And maybe eventually he'd get an effect to the head again. But meanwhile, while Viloria disconnects, as we were talking about, Joe, covers up, he allows Keb Baas, and that's why the people are clapping, and I'm clapping too. He allows Keb Baas to come back and have a moment. There again, the earmuffs on, he disconnects offensively and defensively. He puts himself into a real neutral position, and he allows Keb Baas to score and to get some confidence and to get through the round.
Teddy,
give Keb Baas credit here.
Impressive display in this 9th round from Juan Keb Baas.
You could almost argue he's winning the round.
Oh, I'd mark it down. Downstairs to the body, went upstairs moments ago.
With a little help from his friend, Viloria not going to the body. And Viloria, again, disconnects offensively and defensively, does not know how to mesh the two together. So he allows you to have moments to do this. Get off. Good job by Keb Baas.
Can you believe this? What a turnaround.
I like the skate. I don't like to sweat. I use Red Zone because it's the strongest stuff you can get, made just for guys. It absorbs in and helps stop sweat, period. Try it. If you don't like it, Old Spice will buy you a stick of something else. Dude, think about it. Would they guarantee it if it didn't work? Red Zone from Old Spice.
ESPN2 Friday Night Fights, presented by Miller Lite. Grab yourself a great tasting low-carb Miller Lite. And your neighborhood Ace Hardware, the helpful place. Mohegan Sun in southern New England, Uncasville, Connecticut. Here's that flurry at the end of round 9 for Juan Keb Baas, Teddy.
Boy, give him plenty of credit. Comes off being knocked down in the last round, and he comes back and he wins the round, at least on our scorecards. Give this man credit.
In the 8th round, Brian Viloria, the Hawaiian Punch, the heralded Olympian, undefeated, put on a power display and knocked Keb Baas down twice. Keb Baas comes back in round number 9 and edges him out 24-18 in power connects. Great turnaround, and now it's Viloria getting busy.
Again, Viloria only going to the head. He might get his way because he throws them short, he puts them together. But again, I don't believe serving himself well by not going to the body. But serving, I believe, Keb Baas well by not going to the body. And then again, Viloria, there's 3 lines of defense. We talked about it. You can move your head, you can block, you can use your legs. Viloria chooses to block. When he does that, he disconnects offensively. He allows Keb Baas to have moments. I think Viloria would be much better served to move his head. make one of those punches miss, create an opening, serve 2 masters with that. 1, he wouldn't allow Keb Baas to sit in there and put punches together, and 2, he would create an opening.
Coming up next on ESPN2, it'll be the 2003 World's Strongest Man competition. Scheduled for 12 rounds here in our main event. NABF Flyweight title on the line. Brian Viloria controlling the pace for the first half of the fight, and then coming up big with a dominating 8th round, scoring 2 knockdowns, only to see Juan Keb Baas return fire and come back strong in the 9th round, and he's very game here in round number 10.
I think there's a mental letdown going on with Viloria. You know, when somebody wants to get a little burst of energy, right there was a little bit of a burst, but again, all to the head. He's got Keb Baas hurt a little bit, going to the head, but again, not going to the body. So if 5, 6, 7, 8 punches come flying from Viloria, very few of them are landing cleanly because Keb Baas is slipping and dipping. I was starting to say that maybe Viloria has had a little bit of a mental letdown after that 8th round, kind of like when somebody wants to get a little charge and they drink some coffee, they get a boost of caffeine, but then a half hour later, what happens? You drop down.
Let me tell you something.
You drop down a little bit.
It reminds me of another fight that took place here where the other fighter may have assumed that the fight was going to finish. The Mickey Ward Turagati first fight here.
That's true. Very true. Now Viloria thought it was going to be over, had a little bit of a letdown.
Brian Kenny, what do you make of this?
That's a tough guy. Antonio and I are talking about that. You thought he had him out, but he doesn't. We want to talk about another fight, though. Sharmba Mitchell. You may have seen this fight. Hey, wanting to keep busy, Antonio. Kostya Tszyu out injured, so his shot at the Ring Magazine junior welterweight title had to wait. But in tough with this South African. I mean, and Tszyu is a tough man in there.
Very tough cookie. I think it was a bit more than Sharmba had bargained for. In something like a tune-up waiting on Kostya Tszyu, but he showed his experience. He showed that he could put his hands together and really, he edged out and do a tough opponent.
Yeah, I thought he won this fight too. It just shows you, again, just because you don't see a fighter on HBO, Showtime, or even here on ESPN, doesn't mean he's fodder for the money guy, whether it's, Akte Urcal, Gianluca Branco, or Lovemore and Tszyu, but Sharmba Mitchell looked very sharp. I thought Sharmba Mitchell, Floyd Mayweather Jr. sometime at 140. That'd be nice.
That'd be a great fight.
Let's go back out to ringside, get back to our main event, Brian Viloria. Joe?
All right, Brian, round number 11, the championship rounds here between Brian Viloria and Juan Keb Baas. It's turned into an extremely entertaining fight. And mostly because of some of the criticism you've had of Brian Viloria. He's allowed for it to be an entertaining fight. Teddy Atlas's scorecard, 99-91. Of course, the 10-8 8th round for Viloria with the 2 knockdowns, but turned it right around in Juan Keb Baas in that 9th round.
Now Keb Baas looking, he's still looking to score. That's what's so impressive. He's not just trying to survive, he's looking to win. He's looking to score punches. Just a moment ago, Keb Baas, with his experience, I saw that point jab I was talking about earlier that Viloria sometimes just pushes out there. And Keb Baas quickly tried to get a right hand over, just missed. So you look at Viloria, he throws that point jab. Now he's trying to set up the right hand, but his opponent knows it. You're going to pull with the jab. You're not the only one who knows you're trying to set up a right hand. Your opponent does too. He's thinking on his feet. So the problem with Viloria with that point jab is 2 things. 1, it doesn't score. It doesn't help him on the scorecard. 2, it doesn't stop or control the opponent. And 3, it allows, by throwing it 3/4 and pointing like he's doing right, it allows your opponent to close the gap. It allows your opponent to walk in. And it allows your opponent to sometimes score with the right hand if he throws it at the right time. You know, we talked before, we were touching on it before the end of the last round that, I was saying sometimes you want a little bit of a boost. You take a little coffee and you get a caffeine boost, but then about 20 minutes later, you kind of have a lull. You drop down a little bit. Well, in that 8th round, Viloria scores 2 knockdowns, he's up, but all of a sudden, the guy's still there. He thinks it's going to be over with.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And mentally, he's got a little bit of a letdown. He thinks he thinks that the guy's not supposed to be there, so he's already kind of, you know, closed up shop.
Yeah, you
like,
come out of fifth gear.
Yeah, you
bring
close
it down
up shop. You know, when you go to the store every once in a while, you see that sign up, you know, out to lunch. You go out to lunch for a little while.
No, Juan Keb Baas wasn't.
No,
he was still shopping.
Baas said, "Okay, you're out to lunch. I'm going to open up the cash register. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to cash in a couple of sales." You can see it ever since that 8th round. You can see the work rate, the enthusiasm of Viloria a little less. Right now, he's just trying to sort of control the fight without doing a lot. Feint a little bit, walk around a little bit, jab a little bit.
11 rounds in the books. Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas with you from Mohegan Sun on Friday Night Fights. Teddy, level with me. Did you think we'd be in this position going into the 12th round of an NABF fight with Juan Keb Baas still hanging around very game at the end against Brian Viloria?
Always level with you, no problem. No, you would expect a younger Viloria probably to get him out of there. But once I saw that there was no body work going on, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but even I started to realize, hey, this experienced guy can hang around a little bit if he gets a little bit of help from his friends or his opponent. In this case, Viloria not going downstairs.
Is Viloria on course for where he needs to be at this stage of his career? Are you satisfied with what you see?
You know, the problem with a guy who's an Olympic, who's a bronze medalist, there's a lot of expectation there. You don't want to... Nobody's satisfied when he just wins. They want him to win spectacularly. He's winning. He's been in there with some decent guys. You know, I think, yes, you should be satisfied. He's a small guy. He's going to have a chance to win a world title. But when there's a lot of expectations put on a guy, and he's been on television a lot, and he's been involved in some not great fights, quite honestly, some snoozes, there's a lot of pressure not to just win, but to win really excitingly, especially when you've been in some bad ones. And being that that's been the case with Viloria, everybody now is just looking at what he doesn't do. They're no longer looking at what he does do.
Well, he tried to go from snooze to alarm here at the start of the 12th round. Viloria coming out strong and now inviting the veteran into the corner, saying, let's do it.
You can make an argument that Keb Baas won the last round.
Keb Baas coming in, body shots, then goes upstairs, places a right uppercut as Viloria tries to time him with a left hook. Viloria now targeting that straight right hand.
Now watch Viloria again. There's a good body shot, but not enough of them. That's where I believe the bulk of his offense should have been throughout the night. Again, when he throws the head, look, he scored knockdowns in this fight by throwing to the head. I'll be the first to admit that. But, of course, there was a lot of witnesses, so how could I not admit it? But when he goes in and he's had his opponent in trouble and he's thrown, say, 10, 12, 13 punches to the head, most of them have missed. There's been one clean one like just a moment ago, but the follow-up shots, because they're all to the head, have not landed. And that's why, besides the heart of Keb Baas, that's why he's still here. And very rarely are you going to be the kind of guy that's going to score a knockout with one punch. There's not that many guys around that are going to do that. You got to either be a tremendous puncher or land the perfect punch. So you need to be able to land with more than one. And when you throw them all to the head, and you got an experienced guy who's dipping and, you know, swinging and sliding and slipping, chances are a lot of those shots to the head are going to miss. And that's been the case.
Still looking for that right hand. He comes with it there. Last 30 seconds of this 12-round fight.
Viloria does show versatility. He can fight with you inside. Also, he can move outside, look to counter, move away a little bit. Right now, put those hands together for both fighters, but put them together for Keb Baas with the kind of effort that he gave here tonight, coming off 2 knockdowns in the 8th round and coming back and winning some of the late rounds.
Well, educated fight fans here at Mohegan Sun, they know what they saw and they respect it. Good effort from Brian Viloria, showed off his skill and talent, but a very gutsy night from Juan Keb Baas. All right, let's flash back to round number 8, Teddy, because this is when Brian Viloria was on the verge of what could have been a knockout win. Here's knockdown number 1.
You could see Viloria was looking to zero in. He was being patient. He was looking to time something. He came back with the left hook, caught Keb Baas laying there, posing a little bit, and he was able to catch him. Here's the first knockdown, another look. You can see Viloria drives Keb Baas back with the jab, misses with the right hand, but the trainers will tell you come back with the hook. He caught Keb Baas perfectly, just admiring or standing there. Now we're going to take another look at the last knockdown in that 8th round. Again, the left hook does the damage. The other punches misses. Keb Baas goes down. Let's take one more look at it. Now, Keb Baas, you could argue, used his experience to survive here, and that's why he was able to go 12 rounds. Watch. He gets caught with that first punch. He goes down, and what he does is he could have stood up, but he says, let me go down, not get hit anymore. I have a better chance of recovering and a better chance of getting it together, and that's why he was able to go 12 rounds. That's experience.
Brian Viloria landing over double the amount of punches to Juan Keb Baas, 244 to 120. Teddy Atlas's scorecard. Things started to get interesting, but at that point, Brian Viloria had already swept the first 7-8 rounds, so 118-110 according to Teddy Atlas. Let's get the official word from Joe Antonacci.
Boxing fans, after 12 action-packed rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Steve Weisfeld, Judge Harold Gomes, and Judge Tommy Kazmarek all see the bout the same by a score of 119 to 107. The winner by unanimous decision, Brian Hawaiian Punch Viloria.
So the Hawaiian Punch moves to 14-0. For Juan Keb Baas, a much better effort, Teddy, than we've seen of him recently. Pretty entertaining second half of that main event, Teddy.
Yeah, it was. And you know, a lot of people are going to knock Viloria, but all I'm going to say is, yeah, he could look more exciting, he could look more sensational, but he's still going to get his title fight, and all that's going to matter is what he does then.
Juan Keb Baas, 30-10-2 now, but a very nice game effort here tonight against Viloria.